Hey guys, what's up? Thank you for joining me here. It is another beautiful day, and as you know, I show up here every day and I'm telling you stuff that I'm using to stay sober, to stay happy, to get after my goals and my dreams, and to really grab onto all that this awesome life has to offer. It is a lot. And life is really good today, but sometimes I wake up with anxiety and thinking really shitty, unhelpful thoughts. This morning was interesting because I've trained myself to usually wake up and sort of choose the kind of thoughts that I want to have first thing in the morning. So I usually don't even let my feet hit the floor until I've set an intention for the day, or I'll bask in the bed and just really feel gratitude and just really intentionally and mindfully start my day on a positive note. But sometimes it's like I was dreaming something, and as soon as I'm conscious, it's like I'm in the middle of a negative thought. And today it had to do with a client that I'm working with. So as I've mentioned in other videos, I'm working with someone to paint a mural, and we're still in the very beginning stages, and he hasn't agreed on a design yet, so I'm just showing him some drawings. And our next step is to meet. And I have suggested that we meet, and I haven't heard back, or he agreed that we should, and I gave him some times, and I never heard back from him. And so I woke up this morning in the middle of a thought about he's so inconsiderate, and I was grumpy. And I was feeling, and you know, I've shared this, that I'm feeling some stress around this because I'm vulnerable when I share my artwork, and I'm prone to feeling rejected already, and so I always have to do my work around that and those feelings. So it was interesting to wake up just like, oh, he's so inconsiderate. And luckily I have tools, and that's what I do in these videos and share with you, because I have to work on them in my own life. I'm not just telling you what to do. This is shit that I do every day to cheer up and feel better in the world. So I realized I was thinking that because I'm really in tune with my feelings, and so I feel like I do have a pretty good handle after many, many years of practice of identifying and naming like the thought that's going on in my head. But if I can't, I can also tap into what my body's feeling. And so if I'm feeling grumpy and tense and like this, I can tap into that and sort of be like, okay, what's the thought that's leading to this feeling? But today I named both of them at the same time. I was able to identify the thought. And so I felt like this ties in really nicely to what I was talking about yesterday, and just sort of like a deeper look at the ideas that I was sharing yesterday about how if someone is doing something that's bothering us or upsetting us or isn't in line with how we would do it or whatever, it's tempting to assume the worst about it. So like in my case, I'm assuming some kind of character flaw, like he's just an inconsiderate jerk. And I don't think that's true. I don't really think that's true. I don't know the guy. I can't know that that's true. But from what I do know of him, he seems very nice. So I'm guessing, probably a better explanation is that he's very busy, or he's looking at his calendar and trying to figure out a time that works. Maybe the email didn't go through. I've missed plenty of emails. So there's a couple helpful things to do in these situations where you're thinking thoughts that aren't serving you. See, the thing is, it doesn't matter if he's inconsiderate or not. I mean, if I found out that that was the case by getting to know him better and by, future actions, that would be a whole different set of things that I'd need to do, like deciding if I wanted to work with someone who actually did behave in inconsiderate ways. But for right now, what I'm talking about is these situations where we have very little information about a person and we're letting them wreck our day, and we're assuming if we're being honest with ourselves, we can find that we're just assuming things about them that are making us feel bad. And so my suggestion today is to just identify that and recognize that you don't know if that's true or not. I'm talking about those situations where just one thing happened, or like yesterday, what I was talking about, this was very out of character for that person. So did it make sense to assume that he's a big jerk who hates me? No, reality didn't support that up until that point. And maybe in that moment I felt like it showed that, but that's my own shit, as I shared. And so like this morning, thinking this guy's inconsiderate, the fact is I don't know his character. I don't know who he is, and there could be so many other explanations about why he hasn't gotten back to me about this meeting, right? I could even double check my email and make sure I haven't missed his response. That's very possible too. So it's really helpful when you identify that thought, just start to list other things it might be. So if you do know more about that person, sort of bring that into the picture, right? Don't just focus on that one incident where they pissed you off, or you pissed yourself off based on their behavior. Bring in all the past experiences you've had with them, and then sort of weigh those all together. And then decide, okay, but he probably isn't being inconsiderate intentionally, right? I'm just reading it this way. The other thing to keep in mind too is if we don't know someone and it's just like a one-off interaction, or we're just getting to know them, it's helpful to remember, like, we get to choose what we believe in this situation. And this isn't about denial or anything like that. This is about, I really don't know what's behind this behavior. And so I can either choose to believe that he's an inconsiderate jerk, which might be true, but it makes me feel like shit. Or I can choose to believe that it's a misunderstanding, a miscommunication, it's an innocent, maybe something terrible happened in his life. Maybe he's hurt. Maybe someone in his family is suffering. You know, there's all these other things that it just as easily could be that don't make me feel like crap and that make me feel compassionate even or excited. Like maybe he's just looking at his calendar and trying to get someone to come along with it. I don't know. There's other things that I could be thinking that make me feel better. And so the point here is to just take care of yourself and figure out what's serving your goals. And feeling grumpy and shitty first thing in the morning doesn't serve my goals. It doesn't make me want to draw for this client. It doesn't make me want to get past it and get to the actual doing of the mural. It doesn't, it just doesn't serve the larger picture to feel bad. And this is a case where I'm a huge advocate of feeling your negative emotions, but this is one of those cases where my brain is playing a trick on me. It's pulling up a thought that's easy to think, but not necessarily true, and it just drags me down. So it's a very good idea to work to change that. So I hope this helps. Please post if you have any questions. And also, I'm really curious. My numbers are growing. Yay. So there's more of you out there watching. And I'd really love to hear what you want to hear about. Like, what do you want me to talk about? If you've been watching my videos and you know kind of the theme, are there any specifics that you're curious about? I love answering specific questions. So if you've got them, hit me with them. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.